It's My Opinion podcast. It's your host. It's your moderator. It's the host with the most. I do not brag or boast. How y'all living? Good Friday, good Friday, good Friday morning. How y'all living? I'm living swell. Please remember to hit the subscription button, the notification bell, share this video as well as this YouTube channel with your friends, family, as well as your followers. If you want to further support the channel, hit the join membership button. Remember, membership has its privileges. I'm gonna, upgrade the membership options sometime this week or maybe next week, and I'll tell you guys about it in detail. But let's put that to the side. Let's talk about the news of today as well as yesterday. If you watched my video yesterday, it was cut from 10 minutes to 1 minute. I had a bad connection problem talking about Bradley Beal. So I'm going to talk about two stories. I'm going to be talking about Bradley Beal's buyout, and I'm also going to be talking about Dame Dollar heading back to Portland. All right. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. All right. So, Bradley Beal. So Bradley Beal accepted a buyout from the Phoenix Suns. Bradley Beal, as well as LeBron James, were the only two players in the National Basketball Association that had a buyout clause. A no trade clause in their contract, meaning they can dictate wherever they wanted to go to because it's a no trade clause. You had to get permission from either LeBron James or Bradley Beal if you wanted, or if you was thinking about trading these players. Okay, long story short, short story long, the NBA is doing away with no trade clauses. To be perfectly honest with you, there's so much money up front with these up and coming contracts. A lot of players are going to say, miss me on that. I don't really need a no trade clause because I'm making so much money up front. It's going to be kind of difficult for them to trade me anyway. So, and they're getting rid of the no trade clause because there's really no need for the no trade clause. But that's another video for another time. Let's talk about Bradley Beal. So Bradley Beal accepted a buyout for the Phoenix Suns. Word around campfire is I didn't check any articles or videos from yesterday evening till now, but he's getting ready in process of negotiating a contract with the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, it's going to be Bradley Beal. If he joins the Los Angeles Clippers, he'll be teaming up with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. Kendrick Perkins didn't say not so kind words about this 3-0, this miniature super team. I call it the Dollar General super team. Look, let's just face facts and face reality. Bradley Beal isn't the same Bradley Beal. The Clippers are not getting the Bradley Beal that came from Washington. Okay, unfortunately. And the Clippers are not getting James Harden when he was, reigned supreme when he was with the Houston Rockets or with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And Kawhi Leonard, he's rattled with injuries. You're not getting the same Kawhi Leonard that you got with the San Antonio Spurs or when he won his title with the Raptors. Okay, you get what you get with these players. Okay, so let's just talk about the futures of Bradley Beal, the Phoenix Suns. Okay, so let's stay on Bradley Beal. So Bradley Beal going to the Clippers is not going to really make the Clippers. It's not going to make the Clippers the favorites. And I'll be honest with you, it's not going to make them a very competitive team because all three of these players. Now, if all three of these players play all 82 games, then we may have something here. But the key component with all three of these players are the injury prone. Bradley Beal, it was injury prone. If you look at James Harden, sometimes he can be injury prone, as well as Kawhi Leonard. So you're not going to get all three of these players to play on, under the same umbrella throughout the season. One, if not all three of these players are going to miss a lot of games. Okay, so That's that component. Two, it's not like you're getting these players in their primes. They're outside their primes. They're capable to continue to play in today's NBA. There's a reason why that, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. I don't want to make this video any longer. And third, this is not going to put them, the team to beat in the West. They're going to have a difficult, even if you if somehow, some way, by the grace of God, if all of these players are available and they all play together and these three players play all 82 games, it's going to be an uphill climb if you look at what's going on in the West. Okay, let's talk about the Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets can clearly beat the Los Angeles Clippers with no hesitation. All right. Let's look at the defending champions when this upcoming season comes, the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder has no problems with the Clippers. The Clippers have no threat. The Clippers not showing no threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're going to be very dominant these foreseeable seasons. All right, unless something clearly happens, like something where it's one, two, maybe three of those players are significantly injured throughout the season, which I don't really see happening. They're just now getting into their prime. And it's kind of funny. The Clippers had the player in their facility who won the title, not only won the title with Oklahoma City Thunder, but was finals MVP. The Clippers had that player in their facility, and they traded that player away for Paul George. And now, not only they don't have that player, they don't even have Paul George, all right? But, hey, that's neither here nor there. It's kind of funny to me, but, hey, it is what it is. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you slip up. Sometimes there's an oops, I did it again and again and again. But, yeah, the Los Angeles Clippers are the dollar store rendition of a super team. This is going to be the last time you're going to ever see players that once had max contracts now pledging their allegiance and forming up like Voltron to have a dollar store rendition of a super team on a team. And the Clippers are going to do that. And why the Clippers are doing it? Because the Clippers don't really have any future picks in the foreseeable future. I think it's like 2030 when they start getting some of their picks back. So this is the only way they're going to stay competitive, quote unquote competitive, until at least 2030, maybe 2025. I'm not 1,000% sure. But yeah, 2030, I think they start getting their picks back. Okay. They did so many crazy effed up trades with the Clippers. So this is the only way the Clippers are going to stay competitive. All right. So no, this team is not going to be the favorites in the West. No one is scared of this team. And I can even go even further. If you look at the Golden State Warriors, the Golden State Warriors are a better team right now than the Clippers. Okay, and I don't see the Golden State Warriors dominating in this league. Okay, so yeah, it is what it is. They're clearly not going to beat the Dallas Mavericks. We're not even going to talk about that. And the last thing before we move further, this ends the speculations of the possibility of LeBron James going to the Clippers either through a sign and trade, which I don't see what the Clippers have that the Lakers would want. They don't have any draft picks. They don't have any young talent that the Clippers that the Lakers may be interested in. Even getting a trade with the Clippers it's going to be hard and difficult to do. And even if LeBron James agrees to a buyout, okay, out of all the places, why would LeBron wants to go to the Clippers other than he don't want to move his family to another location? That's the only thing I can think of or see. All right. So that is the speculation of that. Because remember, a lot of people were speculating the Clippers were on that list. The Clippers, the Dallas Mavericks, the Cleveland Cavaliers. And there was one more team. The Golden State Warriors. And I covered all four of those teams. And I just saw little to no interest, or the door not shut all the way, but it's shut. Okay. So, so that ends speculations of that. Okay. So, from Bradley Beal's component, I guess he's going to a quote unquote competitive team. He'll be able to be him, be that guy. He doesn't have to, moderate how he plays. He can play the way he want to play. And there's only one basketball. I think out of the three, Kawhi Leonard would change up the way how he gets touches on the ball. I guess he could play off the ball at times. Or sometimes, Kawhi really doesn't need the ball. As long as you're making James Harden and Bradley Beal happy, because you have to split up your touches with those two players, I think life will probably be good in with the Clippers. But like I said, this move doesn't move the needle as far as them being very competitive in the season or being very competitive in the playoffs, and they're non-existent in the NBA finals. Okay, I don't see this team representing the West in the NBA finals. So from Bradley Beal's component, new location, to be able to play how he want to play, I guess those are the only two choices you can pull away from this decision. Okay, now from the Phoenix Suns side, okay, the Phoenix Suns are trying to get back if not half, all of their draft picks that they squandered on Kevin Durant trade with Brooklyn. And I know Brooklyn is just laughing at the Phoenix Suns. I know that the Brooklyn is going, see, I told you so. This guy wasn't going to amount to anything as far as winning titles. And when I mean that guy, I'm talking about Kevin Durant. And you're gonna, and you're gonna lose more than what you're going to gain, even if he even gets you close to the NBA Finals. He's just not that guy. He's just not worth it. Okay, and and I know Brooklyn is laughing and they're just kicking back and just pointing at the Phoenix Suns. Because now the Phoenix Suns are in a bad place. Okay, the Phoenix Suns have no future as far as draft picks go. And if you've been following this channel, I done told you guys, the NBA is like the NFL. They're the NFL. Where draft picks are extremely important in this climate and in this climate of the NBA. It's like the NFL. Squandering away your picks for a max player, those deals are dead. That era is over with. The super team era is DOA. Okay, it's over with. All right. So you need these draft picks, and two, the NBA is a copy and paste league, and the two teams that benefited the most by keeping their draft picks and adding more draft picks were the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. So a lot of people are going like, if those two organizations can make it to the NBA Finals, then why not us? So yeah, draft picks are heavily important in today's NBA. So you got that component. All right. So when you look at the Phoenix Suns, they're trying to get the majority of their draft picks that they lost from they're trying to get the majority of their draft picks that they lost from the Kevin Durant trade. And they thought they was going to get all of them back when they traded him to the Rockets, but they didn't hold none of the leverage. All right. The Rockets did. So they had to get what they could get for Kevin Durant. And two, Kevin Durant is not that guy that you're going to squander all of your future for. He's an older Kevin Durant. And maybe the Rockets look at it like, look, we're doing you a favor. We're doing you a solid. We're taking Kevin Durant off your hands. We'll give you a player that we don't want anyway. And that's Riddick that came out of that trade. So the Phoenix Suns didn't get all of their draft picks back, and they're in the process. And we look at the Phoenix Suns' future. Okay, the player that they got back in return, Green, and oh, I forgot the player that's with the Phoenix Suns right now. I do apologize. I had a brain fart. I'm still thinking of Bradley Beal with the Phoenix Suns. Um, but anyway, with those two players, I feel like the Phoenix Suns are still going to wheel and deal. This is going to be a hard rebuild boot for the Phoenix Suns. I think if any remaining talent in that organization, they're going to be shipping them out. Okay, they're going to be trading and getting draft picks back. They're going to start all over, and they're doing a hard rebuild with the Phoenix Suns. And this only means that the Phoenix Suns are not going to be very competitive this season, and they're not going to be very competitive next season. If they get they wish, Green will probably be traded to another team again. He left the Rockets. He went to Phoenix. Now Phoenix done dealt him to someplace else. Um, and I forgot his name. Jesus. He was up. He was up and coming of getting a contract as well. I feel like the Phoenix Suns are going to try to wheel and deal him also, to get draft picks from him as well as Green, and they're doing a hard rebuild. They're starting this thing all over again. They understand the errors of their way. They tried to buy a championship, and that's where they messed up at first when when they traded for Kevin Durant, then they traded for Bradley Beal. But yeah, so the Phoenix Suns are doing a hard rebuild. They're starting all over. They know they're on the outside looking in, and they're just doing it that way. Maybe they'll be competitive, and I say this, depending on who's in their front office, and I don't have all the data of who's running that organization as far as decision making and draft picks. But I will say this: the Phoenix Suns probably won't start being very competitive for the next 4 to 5 years. I'm trying, and I want to lean more towards the 5 years. Okay, so they're doing a. I feel like the Phoenix Suns are going to be like the Utah Jazz, where we'll just collect picks and draft for the best player and piece these things together, and hopefully sooner we get this. If we figure this out sooner, we'll be like in the same we'll be in the same state as the Oklahoma City Thunder, where you have talented players on the roster and you got plenty of draft picks. Okay, so like I said, I give them 4 to 5 years, and the Phoenix Suns will be I. Okay, but right now the Phoenix Suns, they're on the outside looking in, and they're doing a very hard rebuild for this squad. Okay, hey, how you doing? How you doing, Hunter? How you doing? All right. So yeah, we got that. All right. So that's what that means for the Phoenix Suns. All right. And this is what I was talking about yesterday. Unfortunately, that live only lasted a minute. But yeah, that's from both advantages, the Phoenix Suns and Bradley Beal. Okay. So moving on. If y'all got anything else to say about that first topic, comment in the comment section, and we'll talk about it after I'm finished with this next topic I'm about to jump into. All right. So the next topic of order is Dame Dollar, who got bought out by the by the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm about to say Minnesota Timberwolves. What is wrong with your boy? It's too early for your boy. Okay. What's the topic about? Well, I'm about to get into it. All right. So Dame Dollar got bought out by the Bucks because the Bucks wanted to sign the center for the Indiana Pacers. They didn't want to go beyond the salary cap, And, Dame Dollar is injured. He won't be available for this up and coming basketball season. So they agreed to buy Dame Dollar out. Dame Dollar was out there on the open market. Anyone could have signed Dame Dollar. And to be perfectly honest with you, Dame Dollar, if you look at his resume, and yes, if you do sign him, he won't be available for this year. You would think teams would be trying to teams will be trying to line up to get Dame Dollar. That did not happen. Okay. So hold up for a second, guys. Okay, so Dame Dollar just sit out there in waiting. Anybody could have signed Dame Dollar. Ultimately, Dame Dollar went back to the Portland Trail Blazers. I think this is a good move for Portland. I think it's a better move for Dame Dollar. I'm about to explain why. Portland needs, Portland signing Dame Dollar, and I think it's a 3-year contract worth 40 plus million, 3 or 4 years worth, I think 30 or 40 million. That's not bad. You're not, giving up a lot of money for Dame Dollar. Dame Dollar's not accepting a lot. Dame Dollar's really not accepting less money. That's pretty good money for Dame Dollar as well as Portland. You know, uh, and Portland needs something good cooking with their organization, because they tried to do a hard rebuild with Portland by adding young talent. They added Aiden. They draft a lot of young talent, and it's just not working out from Portland standards. When you look at what they you know picked up in the NBA draft, they're still a lottery team at the end of the day. Okay, and Aiden did little to nothing for Portland. So Portland needs a sign out there to their fans to indicate that they're still trying to compete. Dame Dollar's name back to his hometown. I think that does wonders for the Portland and the organization and the community. Portland is a big fish. He's a home star over there. He has his house there. He had a better career with Portland. So him going back does wonders. It puts butts in seats. It gives the possibility of hope for the fan base out there. Um, and yeah, I think that's good. That's a good PR move. Um, and like I said, Dame played better when he was with Portland. Maybe this move, yo, what's up? What's up? Who is that? LA underscore good go. Okay, well, whatever. How y'all living? I'm living swell. I'm living swell. So yeah, this does wonders for Dame Dollar. This does well for Portland. It's a feel good type of situation. Now, basketball wise, what does this mean as far as, does it make Portland better or does it make Portland worse? I don't think it makes Portland worse. I think it makes them a smidge better, particularly if you get the old Dame back. You know, I like the old Dame, not the new Dame. I want the old Dame back. Okay, so yeah, I think basketball wise, if you get, I say like 50% of the old Dame when he comes off of his injury, then this is going to be getting him for that contract, and you get like 50% of Dame. That's great for the organization. Now, a lot of people are pointing out that you know uh, they feel like Dame is not going to come back from this injury. And a lot of people feel like that the only reason, well, there's two reasons why he went back to Portland. One, there was no interest in Dame. And two, a lot of people think that he's not coming back from this injury and he may just go ahead, call it a career, and retire. Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's too early for the retirement part. Let's just see when he comes off of this injury, how he feels, how he plays, and see the rehab. Let's just go through the process and see if and two, how Dame feel about going back to Portland. Obviously, he wants to go back to Portland. Um, so it's really too early to tell. Hold up. I just had a taco and oh my God, man. Come on, Daniels. Come on, Daniels. Okay, so yeah. Uh okay, so I don't see to me, I don't see how this is a bad thing. Like Dame's going to retire. I don't see this from a retirement perspective. I really think Dame loves basketball so much. He already made a boatload of money. Um, and maybe maybe he comes to the realization of this. Okay. And I really thought about this move, him going back to Portland. Uh, One, the market was not that rich for Dame Dollar. There was not a lot of teams knocking at his door saying, "Well, we'll take you." Okay, so I felt like there was a component there, but also feel like this was going to be Dame's decision, no matter if there was a lot of interest out there from other teams. And I look at it like this, okay? And I really think Dame Dollar can retire right now. He's not doing it for the money. He's not really doing it for the fame. I really think he really loves basketball that much, but he really, really loves Portland, the Portland community. And he's probably thinking, I should have never demanded a trade to go to Miami. Then I ended up with the Bucks. If I had to do that all over again, I should have just kept my tail in Portland. Because when he was in Portland, life was good for Dame Dollar. Okay. Uh, the Portland community treated him with royalty over there. And then now you just up and leave and you go to another organization, and maybe that organization don't appreciate you as much as you was very appreciative in Portland. Okay. But that's from my perspective why he went back to Portland. I could be 1,000% wrong about it. But yeah, I feel like Dame Dollar wants to just go back home. Sometimes, going back to your safe space and going back home is more important than anything else. And two, not all great players are going to win a title. I think someone hyped up Dame. Maybe Dame ego got the best of him. Say, "Hey man, you a top player. You should go for the chip as well." Okay, and he believed into that and said, "Yeah, I'm a top player. I deserve a chip. I deserve a ring. I want to go somewhere where I can win a ring because obviously I'm not going to get it at Portland." And all great players are not going to have hardware. Unfortunately, they're not going to have championship hardware. They're not going to have championship rings. Charles Barkley is a great player, but Charles Barkley does not have a ring on his resume. It doesn't make him any less of a player. He's just a great player that just did not take it, just was unable to get a ring. Okay? And, all great players are not going to be rewarded with a championship ring. You could play like 14 years in the NBA. You could be a great player and you just don't have the hardware. You just don't have the ring. That still doesn't mean that you was not a great player. That it just simply means you're just a great player that just unfortunately didn't get an opportunity to get a championship ring. And to Dame Dollar point of view, I think that's a little bit of that, but it's also why roll the dice again go to another organization, you'll literally be starting over. Then you got to rehab this injury that you just had, and you're not going to be the same player for at least 1 or 2 years. So you got to go through all that stuff while competing. Man, let me take my tail back to where people really appreciate me, where I feel comfortable, where, there's not a lot of pressure. People were just happy for me to just come on the court and give it my all for a W. Okay. And, people didn't even care. It would have been great to get a championship with Portland, and I think fans would have appreciated that. But I feel like fans appreciated Dame Dollar more because remember early in Dame Dollar's career when he was in Portland, and a reporter asked him about that, he was like, look, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be ring chasing. I'm just going to stay in Portland. If it happens in Portland, great. If it doesn't happen in Portland, it's all good. All right. And he should just stuck with that. With that thing. I felt like a lot of people got into his ear. I think that ego. Sometimes ego could be. Sometimes your ego can give you the worst advice. All right. And he believed it. He got drunk off that stuff. And he tried to force his hand and leave. And he wanted to go to the Heat. The Heat was the only team he was interested in. Unfortunately, he couldn't get traded to the Heat. So he took the next available step and went with the Milwaukee Bucks. And if you've been following my channel, when they acquired Dame Dollar, I was lukewarm on that trade. I just didn't see the Greek Freak and Dame Dollar being I just didn't see them matching how that was going to work. Okay. And I'm not saying that I'm right about it. I'm just saying it just from the outside looking in, I didn't think this ring championship titles. A lot of people did. A lot of people got a lot of egg on their face, okay? Because they did the opposite, okay? But I was very lukewarm on this trade. I didn't think the Milwaukee Bucks were going to win a title with this tandem. And fast forward to today, look where we at today. All right. So, I kind of feel sorry for him to be in a position to even accept the buyout. Okay. But hey, it is what it is. And I think going back home would do wonders for Dame Dollar. And it's great for Dame Dollar. He could rehab. He could take his time. The Portland Trailblazers are not rushing Dame Dollar back anytime soon. So he can just take his time. He doesn't have all that pressure, to win a title and things of that nature. I think Dame Dollar and this is going to sound weird, as an elder statement for the Portland Trailblazers. I feel like there's the game plan where Portland is to draft. If they're in the position to draft high and just get the best player, and having Dame Dollar in your franchise, he will welcome in the new players. Dame Dollar has done a lot for the NBA community. He has nothing to prove. Okay. And I feel like these young players today respect Dame Dollar. So him being as of right now, Dame Dollar, the only way Dame Dollar can help Portland is rehabbing his injury and just being somebody that comes into the practice facility and talk to these up and coming players, and and get them and explain to these young players what it means to play in Portland. It's a win-win. It's a win for Dame Dollar. It's a win for Portland. I don't see this is the grand finale. Dame Dollar's going. This is just Dame Dollar's going to retire. I think ultimately he will retire in Portland, but I don't think that time is now nor next season, unless the surgeons come back and they just give him some horrible news that, hey, the surgery did not work. And, I see it working. And I think with rehab, I think Dame Dollar's going to be, close to what he once was when he was with Milwaukee. The days of Dame Dollar, is Dame Dollar gonna be more like what he was in Portland or more like he was with Milwaukee? I feel like it's gonna be Milwaukee, and hey, that's still a good Dame Dollar. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about with the buyout with Bradley Beal. One more thing, people were asking me on my timeline, particularly on social media, what did I think about as the world turns with LeBron James? It seems like LeBron James is at the middle of the road and he's not budging. The Lakers are not budging, and the Lakers are moving on with their plans with Luka. And if you've been following my channel, I don't understand why that is. I don't understand why people are surprised or astounded or clutching their pearls. Oh my God, the Los Angeles Lakers don't see LeBron James as the future. When they made that trade last season, there was articles floating around. I don't know what happened to you guys. Why y'all didn't read the articles? Because the Buss family, as well as the Lakers organization, was embracing Luka, and they indeed said Luka was their future. I don't know what happened to you fans, you Los Angeles Lakers fans, you fans of LeBron James. I don't understand why y'all couldn't put two and two together, and just figured it out from that component. And then when the Buss family sold the Los Angeles Lakers for $10 billion and they're under new management, did y'all thought that was going to change? One of the reasons why they bought the Los Angeles Lakers for $10 billion, it's not the biggest reason, but having Luka in the organization and the future and the possibility of signing free agents that fit Luka's talent, drafting players that fit Luka's skill set, similar to what he did with the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of people seem to forget 2 years ago, Luka took that team to the finals on his back with no AD. Well, he couldn't play with AD anyway. But you get my drift. He had no AD. He had no Irvin. Oh my God, Kyrie. He didn't have no Kyrie. It was just Luka and the boys. Now they lost, okay, but people seem to forget. Wow, he did all that with little to nothing. So if the Lakers follow the Dallas Mavericks blueprint, just have players that complement Luka. And then, hey, look, you might make it to the finals too. Two, LeBron is 40. What organization is going to build their future around a 40-year-old player? Now, don't get it twisted and don't get it confused. LeBron takes care of himself. He works out. He's in great, phenomenal shape. He's a healthy 40-year-old player. But let's just face facts and face reality, Laker fans, LeBron James stands. He's 40. There's not much of a future you're going to have if you get rid of Luka and build talent around LeBron James. One of the things I said when they got Luka, I said, man, that's a great trade for Los Angeles. They didn't really give up a lot to get Luka. My only problem with the trade was how Luka's going to fit with LeBron, because they pretty much are similar. Is LeBron going to play in the corner while he let Luka cook, or is Luka going to play the corner and let LeBron cook? And that's why a lot of people were saying LeBron doesn't have a bag. He doesn't have so many ways to attack the rim. He's got the athleticism. He can shoot the mid jumper. He can shoot the three. He's got that all in his bag. He can pick and choose how he can address and attack the basket. He's got that bag. He's one of those ones. All right. Maybe when LeBron was with Miami, you may have a point. And even when he was with Miami, there was certain things, that he choose not to do. Okay. It didn't mean that he couldn't do it. He just chose not to do it. I feel like LeBron, when his time in Miami, if he would have utilized his half court game, punishing them below the basket, they could have more titles. What they ultimately ended up with in Miami. But that's neither here nor there. That's the past. The past is the past. There's nothing you can do about the past. Okay. But moving forward, who's going to play in the corner while the other person cooks? And what makes better sense? Letting LeBron cook with a limited bag, or letting Luka cook with a hellified bag? I'm letting Luka cook, all right? I'm letting Luka cook, all right? I don't care what anybody say. I'm letting Luka cook, all right? So, you got to look at it like that. And he opted in. He's making like $50 million for the Lakers. So that, that hurts them as far as getting talent for that fits around Luka. They don't have a lot of money to play with, all right? And to be honest with you, when he opted in, they probably had to scrap what they had in store for Luka for this season, and may have to put those ideas on hold for next season. All right. By that time, they're off of LeBron's contract. They're off of Austin Reeves' contract. They're off of a lot of players' contracts. Okay. And I think one of the analysts for ESPN said they're going to have I don't know if it was $50 million freed up or $80 million freed up. So they're going to have a lot of money to play with next offseason to put talent around Luka. All right. So basically, this up and coming season, the Lakers are not going anywhere. They don't have the money to stay competitive with the other teams that are out there in the league. They don't even have, if they had to play Oklahoma City in a 7-game series, they're going to lose that. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, why you say that? Because look how the Timberwolves dismantled the Lakers. What's the excuse there? Are y'all gonna say LeBron was injured? Y'all gonna say Luka was injured? Because that's the only two things that they really had on their side of the court. Minnesota had talent on top of talent. Okay, and Minnesota's not going anywhere. They're gonna have a hard time with Minnesota, and I don't feel like the Lakers at this point, at this juncture, they shouldn't even be in conversations with Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder are just in another universe. They're just in another universe, and the Lakers don't even put the Lakers and Oklahoma City Thunder in the same paragraph. I'm just saying, you're going to make yourself look bad, really bad, okay? So hold up. Rob said, nah, LeBron is terrible. They should have traded him. Here's the problem, Rob. I said this earlier. The two players that had no trade clauses in their contract was Bradley Beal and LeBron James. So if the Lakers wanted the Lakers probably do want to trade LeBron James. Okay? In a perfect world, they would love to trade LeBron James. But LeBron James has the ultimate decision on where he wants to be traded. and LeBron could say no to any trade proposal. So you're at the mercy of LeBron James. And how fickle LeBron James is, and LeBron James' ego will get hurt or crushed if the Los Angeles Lakers just traded him. He's not going to help the Los Angeles Lakers. He would help himself before the Los Angeles Lakers. That's why he opted in to the 52 million, because he knew that the Lakers were thinking, oh man, if he doesn't opt into this 52 million, we'll have a little money to play with to add talent for Luka. And LeBron said, wait a minute, add talent for Luka? You should add talent for the king, LBJ. So F that, I'm opting in. I don't care how y'all feel about it. And that just delayed the procedure. What's ultimately going to happen, if it's not going to happen this up and coming season, it's going to happen in the next season. All you're doing is delaying what's going to ultimately happen, LeBron James. You're going to be off of the Lakers. The Lakers are not going to offer you a contract like you once had with the Buss family. The problem with the Buss family in this new organization, this new management, the Buss family was trying to make everybody happy. The Buss family was trying to make themselves happy. They were trying to make the fans happy. They were trying to make LeBron James happy. They were trying to make Bronny James happy. With this new management, all they care about is what makes sense. Okay? We're not here to make anybody happy. This is a business, man. This is a business. If we're not competing for titles, then what the hell are we doing? And giving LeBron James this leverage where he holds all the cards, those days are over with. And us making LeBron James happy, of drafting his other son, that does nothing for the Los Angeles Lakers in the grand scheme of things. So with this new management, and this guy owns the Dodgers, he's got the same mindset like he did with the Dodgers. He's going like, no, it's nothing personal. It's not like I'm not a LeBron James fan. I don't appreciate what LeBron James done for the community or with the NBA. I'm just saying LeBron is 40. You don't typically build your franchise around a 40-year-old player in the NBA. It just not work that way. And that's why I said, I feel like if he does get traded, which I don't see him getting traded, but let's just say hypothetically he do get traded, I feel like he can save face by being traded. And they listed all the places, Golden State, Cleveland, which I feel like those destinations don't fit LeBron at this state of his game. They also said, Golden State, Cleveland, the Clippers. The Clippers are not going to make a trade because they got Bradley Beal. And Dallas said they're fine with LeBron, but the only way LeBron's going to come to Dallas is through him being bought out. So that door is pretty much closed as a possibility for trade. I feel like the best trade for LeBron, it makes sense for LeBron, it makes sense for the Los Angeles Lakers, and it saves face for everybody, is LeBron being traded to the Charlotte Hornets. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people that's on this live going like, you are cray-cray, okay? But hear me out before you call me cray-cray. And I've said this on the channel. Trading LeBron to the Hornets will be, it'll be similar to when Michael Jordan went to the Washington Wizards. It will pump blood in that community. Obviously, he's a draw. He will sell tickets just like Michael did with the Washington Wizards, and it will make them somewhat competitive. All right. And I feel like it will do all three things for the Charlotte Hornets, because the Charlotte Hornets are under new management. Michael Jordan doesn't own a majority stake of the team anymore. And the people that do, they want to see a return on their investment. Okay. And having LeBron over there, Charlotte is a smaller community. They're not wishing upon a star that they win a title. And they would appreciate LeBron James more in Charlotte than how he is in Los Angeles. Charlotte is a smaller market, similar to what he was in Cleveland. Cleveland was a small market. Look how it turned out there. Before the decision, people loved the hell out of LeBron James. He was an icon in Cleveland, and he didn't even do nothing. Okay. When he started, he didn't do nothing. Okay. When they drafted him, they treated him like royalty over there. And him going to the Charlotte Hornets makes perfect sense. They will treat him and his family with royalty. They will open their arms for him. And they don't have to give up a lot to get LeBron, because in reality, um, you're you're doing LeBron and the Lakers are solid. All right. It may not perceive that way, but in essence, you're making this marriage, this divorce, uh, save face for both sides, LeBron and the Lakers. And I think with the Charlotte Hornets, they wouldn't mind trading for Bronny James. And they wouldn't mind trading for LeBron's other son when he's able to come into the NBA draft. And the Charlotte Hornets would placate to LeBron James. Okay, he needs to go to that organization. And I've been saying it on two videos as well as this live. So if it happens, I want my flowers, because I was the one that was pushing this agenda, and it makes perfect sense for LeBron James. It makes perfect sense for the Charlotte Hornets, because the marriage between LeBron and the Charlotte Hornets will fit well over there. And it saves face for LeBron. It saves face for the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers can pursue the pursuit of happiness of building around Luka. Obviously, the Hornets are going to have to give up some draft picks for LeBron. They may have to give up a max player. I don't know who's their max player over there. So I think it works perfect for all parties. Okay. Oh, hold up. I'm sorry. I forgot your other question. JJ Redick, a terrible coach. Well, we all knew that, but we also knew that that wasn't the first choice for the Los Angeles Lakers organization. That was Jeannie Buss and the Buss family pleasing LeBron James. There were other coaches that were way more qualified than JJ Redick that they could have gave a chance to. All right. So that's a pleasing LeBron James. That's why they're in the position where they're at today. And when if LeBron leaves this up and coming season or next season, there's going to be a hot chair for JJ Redick, because now you don't have that voice no more. You don't have the patience no more. It's do or die. If you can't get it done, they're going to cut ties with you, and they're going to be looking for another coach. And to believe it or not, the hot seat is hot with Rob Pelinka as well. Now, Rob Pelinka has been making some moves and some draft choices where he's kind of being saved face. Getting Aiden for that type of money, just getting Aiden into the building, that saves Rob Pelinka for now. But it's show and tell when LeBron is no longer there. You can't use the excuse of, oh my God, I'm so handicapped. We have to please LeBron, and I can't put my best foot forward on sculpting this roster. It's do or die for Rob Pelinka. But out of the two, JJ Redick will probably be gone before Rob Pelinka. All right. But yeah, that's what I believe. If I turn out to be right, I want my flowers. I want you guys to come back and say, hey, you was right. You called it. I just feel like that's a better marriage than LeBron staying with the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay. But moving on. I want to get this out of the way. I did a video on this. And we all know Emmanuel Acho, Joy Taylor, Michael Irvin, Paul Pierce, Keyshawn Johnson. They were all let go over there at Fox Sports 1. And I don't want to go into details about it. You can go check out the video. The video is up on why they are no longer there. Charles Dixon is no longer with Fox Sports 1, and they're starting a new era at Fox Sports 1. So they canceled Speak, which I told you guys I wasn't too impressed with that. And Breakfast Ball and the Carson Show, or did the Carson Show merge into the Breakfast Ball? I wasn't too pleased with the Carson Show. That made no sense. All those moves were Charles Dixon's moves. All the people who were fired was Charles Dixon people that he put on Fox Sports 1. Now he's no longer there. They're saying, hey, we're getting rid of everything. We're taking a match and burning everything in the Charles Dixon's garden. Everything that has Charles Dixon hand no longer represents Fox Sports 1 in a positive light or in a negative light. We never heard of these people. And to be perfectly honest with you, when these people look for new employment, they better not put us in their job application, because we're not going to give them a very fair review of how they fit with us. Okay. So let's talk about Joy Taylor. I feel like that's the biggest one everyone's talking about because of the lawsuit that's going on with the makeup artist. Like I said, y'all can go look at the video. I'm not going to go into details about it, but I want to talk about Joy Taylor's future. And I knew something was going on because Joy Taylor, not when Joy Taylor was no longer on Speak for like 2 weeks, I didn't read much into that. I just think that she took a vacation, whatever. And then by that time, the lawsuit came out, and it would have been best for her not to appear on Speak to save face. It's a PR move or a planned vacation. I didn't put a lot of stock into it. But what I put in stock, I knew something was going on with Joy Taylor and Fox Sports 1 when I started seeing her make a lot of podcast appearances. She's more active on social media. She's just doing more of her stuff. I knew that she probably knew that she no longer works at Fox Sports 1 because she was active in the podcast space. Because before that, Joy Taylor was just good going to Fox Sports 1, saying her less than effort opinions and keep it pushing and keep it moving. Okay. She did little to nothing on social media, and she didn't do no appearances, none of that spit. Okay. Because she was happy what she was doing at Fox Sports 1, which was absolutely positively nothing. Okay. But that's my opinion. It's just my opinion, podcast opinion. Okay. So Joy Taylor, I knew something was in the air when I kept noticing, man, Joy Taylor is back on social media. She's posting heavily. She's doing podcast appearances. That's Joy Taylor never done that. And I said to myself, something's about to shake down at Fox Sports 1. And that's when all this dropped into our lap. They didn't renew Joy Taylor. A lot of you people say this about everyone that didn't get their contract renewed. Well, they got fired, okay? And I keep telling people, just because they didn't renew your contract, that doesn't necessarily mean you got fired. They just did not. They just didn't. We're not there in the rooms, okay? First and foremost, they probably, people normally when people they didn't get their contract renewed, it's either the person that's trying to get their contract renewed wants more stuff in their contract, and they're looking at it as that's just too much to give to you, or they come with the organization come with a proposal, and you look at it and you read and go like, wait a minute, I'm getting far less than what I got from my initial contract. Oh, hell to the no, I'm not signing that. And that's that. Okay, so I think in Joy Taylor's when they was negotiating, I don't think there was no negotiations. I think they told Joy Taylor 3 months ago, hey, when your contract's up, there's no offer. we're not going to renew your contract. There's no offer. We want to go in a different horizon, and this experiment did not work. Having you on speak did not work. It did not move the needle. Having Acho on the facility, he was on speak, the facility, or the faculty, whatever you want to, how you want to call that crap. That's not working. Keyshawn and Paul Pierce, that's not working. And besides, these are leftovers from the new undisputed. We already done let go of Skip Bayless. And and the Michael Irvin. We really put y'all on these shows because we had nowhere else to put you. And we already done got rid of Michael Irvin. Keyshawn doesn't have no value to us. This is from Fox Sports 1 perspective. And Paul Pierce, he did a good effort. There may be a future for him at Fox Sports 1 as an analyst. He did very well in basketball season. He had some very good points and things of that nature. I think Shady McCoy is still at Fox Sports 1 because it's football season. Lucky for him. But yeah, all of these other personalities that we gave shows to, it didn't move the needle. All right. And we're just moving in a different direction. Now, I don't know if y'all heard of this cat. His name is Ray Daniels. And Ray Daniels used to be a supreme music mogul and an entertainment mogul. And he gave a proposal to Fox Sports 1. And Fox Sports 1 should heed to his proposal. So he believes that Fox Sports 1 should be calling Gillian Wallow and have Gillian Wallow, a show for Gillian Wallow on Fox Sports 1. And I think that would do huge numbers. Huge numbers. Well, first and foremost, and I believe it can be done from Gillian Wallow's perspective. They're going to have to tone down the language, obviously, okay, because you're you're in a different community now, but I feel like that community knows Gillian Wallow. They have great takes on sports, but primarily you're getting them because they got so much clout in the entertainment field, in the music field, and in the sports field. I feel like a lot of athletes feel comfortable going to Gillian Wallow. All right. And this deal will be eerie similar to Pat McAfee. A lot of people seem to forget Pat McAfee was live streaming from YouTube, and he got successful on YouTube. ESPN saw it and said, hey man, we need a shot in the arm. We need to go in a different direction. And that's why Pat McAfee is on ESPN. He moves the needle. Gillian Wallow moves the needle. A lot of people respect Gillian Wallow. And then and on top of that, they are severely funny and they work well together. Okay. And they're popular. They're popping out here. I think Ray Daniels is, and I'm giving Ray Daniels this gem. I think Fox Sports 1 should listen to Ray Daniels and just be in the negotiation process or even talking to Gillian Wallow as possibly them coming into Fox Sports 1. I feel like Fox Sports 1 should go a different route. Instead of worrying about what ESPN does, signing Shannon Sharp, well, that was before he got into this mess, Pat McAfee, instead of trying to get the best sports personality or be in a battle with ESPN picking the best sports personality, I think you need to go look outside the box. And I think Gillian Wallow represents that. What do you think about Lillard back in Portland? I talked about that. I think that's a good move for Dame Lillard. Going back to Portland. I think that works well with Portland. I think that works well with Damian. I did it on this very same live stream. You probably have to go back a little, okay? But yeah, I think this works very, very well for Fox Sports 1. Now, Jason Whitlock suggests that Fox Sports 1 should look at All the Smoke with Stacks and I forgot that light-skinned dude's name. Always, oh my God, man, I see his face, but I can't think of his name right now. Well, the All in Smoke podcast, they feel like, Jason Whitlock feels like they should get them under the Fox Sports 1. I don't see that clicking, and I like All in Smoke podcast. I really do, but they're not more entertaining than Gillian Wallow, and they're not as popular than Gillian Wallow, and they're not going to necessarily move the needle. Now, if you want to add them under the program umbrella, that's cool and all, but you need to hit it out the park. And I feel like Gillian Wallow having them on Fox Sports 1, that hits it out the park. But that wasn't my ideal. That's Ray Daniels. He's on YouTube. He suggested that. That's his ideal. I co-signed that ideal. And as far as All the Smoke podcast, that's Jason Whitlock's ideal. I like it, but it does, to me, if I had to choose between $1 million worth of game podcast or All in Smoke podcast, I would choose $1 million worth of game podcast. Okay. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just don't think it doesn't move the needle for Fox Sports 1. Now, there are some other suggestions out there. A lot of people felt like a Tony Reality could come back to Fox Sports 1. Max Kellerman could come back to Fox Sports 1. I got videos in my archives saying that Fox Sports 1 should look out. First and foremost, when there was an opportunity to land Charles Barkley on the Fox Sports 1, I don't care how much it would have cost. I don't care what you had to do. You do it. I don't care if you have to overpay to get Charles Barkley. You get that done. But if you can't get Charles Barkley on the Fox Sports 1, then Max Kellerman is a great choice as well. I felt like a lot of people were too harsh on Max Kellerman. I think Max Kellerman had great takes, but he also had not so good takes, like the cliff with Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady's going to head to this cliff where he's going to drop off. There's a lot of takes he had that there was some takes that it was questionable, but he had some great takes. He's entertaining. He's thoughtful. He's incredibly knowledgeable about sports entertainment with football and boxing. Oh my God, he's incredible with boxing. Max Kellerman coming back to Fox Sports 1, that's a needle mover. I think there's a lot of people wanting Max Kellerman back to TV. That's a needle mover right there. And I'm going to tell you something. If Max Kellerman isn't a needle mover, then why would ESPN be concerned about Max Kellerman getting a job elsewhere? He had to literally wait until his contract was up with ESPN before he became a free agent. Why would ESPN put all those parameters into his contract where even when they got rid of him, he can't go to any competitive market that competes with ESPN until his contract is up? Because ESPN knows that Max Kellerman is good. Okay, he's great. He's ideal for television. He's a needle mover. That's why you put that language in his contract. So when you get rid of him, you don't have to compete with him anytime soon. That's the real reason why he hasn't accepted any jobs, because there's language in his contract that prevents him to do it until his contract up, because he wants the rest of his money. Look, we all want the rest of our money. If we get fired somewhere and they say, oh yeah, by the way, we owe you $30 million, but you have to wait 3 years on it, I'm waiting 3 years for the rest of my $40 million. Okay? I like to talk. I like to give out takes and things of that nature, but I can wait 3 years till I get the rest of my money. And you would too. But that's neither here nor there. But that's the reason why they put that language in his contract, because they don't want to compete with Max Kellerman. They're going to put Max Kellerman on ice than dealing with him. Okay? So now Max Kellerman, there's a possibility Max, out of all three of those things, I think Fox Sports 1 is going to recruit Max Kellerman. I think Tony Reality, that's a lukewarm move, but there may be a future with Tony Reality. On the outside looking in, I don't think Fox Sports 1 is looking at Up in Smoke podcast, and they're definitely not looking at $1 million worth of game, and they're not thinking outside the box. They want established people in the sports entertainment landscape, and maybe the powers that be at Fox Sports 1, they don't even know who Gillian Wallow is. They're like, who are those guys? Okay, but you have to have, that's why you have to have someone with an entertainment mindset, not a sports entertainment mindset, but a entertainment mindset where they go, yeah, those cats, they move the needle. And having them on Fox Sports 1, that's really not a bad idea. Okay. So, the people that's making these moves, they're looking at it from a sports lens. Okay. Who's out there right now that's unemployed that we can sign and make a show out of them? I think now here's on the outside looking in, RG3. There's a possibility RG3 might land with Fox Sports 1. Particularly with his recent takes, he has. I'm not a big fan of RG3, but there's a reason why ESPN gave up on him super quick, because to me, my humble opinion about RG3, he's not authentic. He's the type of person that would say something knowing that he's going to go viral saying it. He don't necessarily mean it. He don't necessarily believe it, but he knows that, man, if I say this about Angel Reese, people are going to go crazy about my take on this. So he looks at it like that. He kind of reminds me of, and they had a guy like that at Fox Sports 1, Emmanuel Acho. He would say things that he don't necessarily, he does not believe that, but he's saying it because he wants to go viral. He wants to pop. Okay. He wants people to believe and think that he's the smartest person in the room. And those are dangerous people. Those are dangerous people. When you have people, I don't care if it's at your workspace, at church, at school, whatever, the most dangerous person in a room is a person that thinks and believes that they're the smartest person in the room when they're clearly not. Okay, they're clearly not. But yeah. Damn, I'm almost 72 minutes in. I did not know I talked that long. Okay, so that's all I got. Fox Sports 1, I think Max Kellerman is returning back to television. I know that I could put money on that. He's probably going to come back. He's definitely coming back to Fox Sports 1. Tony Reality, I would love to see it. I like Tony Reality. I think Fox Sports 1 could need a personality like that. And the outside looking in, people that, they should really think about, like $1 million worth of game and Up in Smoke podcast. Podcasting is popping depending on the podcast. I think $1 million worth of game, All in Smoke, and Joe Budden, those are, you can't go wrong with any of those podcasts being under a Fox Sports 1 umbrella or ESPN umbrella. Okay. But I don't see it happening. Okay. From Fox Sports 1 perspective, and I explained to you guys why. So yeah, that's all I got for today. I just wanted to redo the live stream that I had yesterday. It was only a minute long. I got cut off because I had a bad connection, but I wanted to tell you guys my full reason on Bradley Beal's buyout. We also talked about Dame Dollar going back to Portland. And then I talked about LeBron James. I talked about Fox Sports 1 getting rid of their shakeup and their up-and-coming future. So, yeah, and the possibility, their replacement. So I talked about a good chunk of stuff. So if you caught the middle or the end of this presentation, just rewatch the whole thing from start to finish. I promise you will not be disappointed. Please hit the like button on your way out. Also, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when the next video goes down. All right. So I'm up out of here. I hope everyone has a great Friday. See you. Wouldn't want to be you. Hope y'all, if y'all have the weekend off, hope you have a great weekend. I don't have the weekend off. Your boy's gonna be grinding. Which, by the way, the Clips album, real fast, real quick. I like the Clips album. I don't think it's getting a lot of praise. That album is almost perfect. It would have been great if Jay-Z did a feature on Chains and Whips. There was some other tracks on there I could have saw Jay-Z be on. But yeah, I like it. I like the Clips album. But yeah, I don't think it's getting its praise because let's just face facts, face reality. You know, a lot of these, younger listeners, they don't even know who the Clips are. Okay. But I like the album. I think it's a great album. It's almost a perfect album. But yeah, I like it. That's So Be It beat. That's I see a lot of people using that as a freestyle. Okay. So, and Kendrick Lamar was on was Changing Whips. I liked his portion of it. So yeah, that's a pretty dope ass album. If you haven't listened to it, you need to go on and listen to it. I mean, there's nothing else out there. And Drake, oh my God, what did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? I told you guys how I felt about that song on my other channel. It debuted at number 2. Which for Drake standards, that's an L. Okay, for anybody else, that will be successful. But for Drake standards, that's an L. And what did I miss reminds me of No Face. No face, no face, no face, no face, no face, no face. I like that. I like that song better than What Did I Miss? Okay, it just, I don't know. I ain't feeling it. But I played it 3 times, and that's it. No Face, I could play that anytime, and I get lit off No Face. But What Did I Miss? Yeah, you missed a lot on that song. That song did not resonate. That song did not age well, okay? But like I said, number 2 is not bad for any other artist, but for Drake, that's an L. That's an L. But, Drake fans are going to say something different, but hey, I'm a fan of Drake. I'm a fan of Kendrick. I'm a fan of music, okay? I love music, okay? So if you make great music, I'm a fan of you, all right? So, yeah, that's all I got. See you guys later. I'll talk to you later. Deuces, deuces, deuces.